Hello. I hope you're in the best of health. I wish you the very best for today and days to come, years to come. Unfortunately, I am not in the best of health, and I haven't been for the last few years. I have prostate cancer. It was diagnosed back in 2021, but I suspect I probably had it for quite a few years before that. The first symptom that I noticed was something that is not cancer, and it doesn't lead to cancer, but it alerted me to the fact that something was going on with my prostate. And that's called, wait just a second, benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH. And what that means is your prostate starts getting big and it starts squeezing your urethra to the point that you may not be able to urinate after a while. It becomes more and more difficult to urinate. I remember when that point came. I had always been very self-sufficient. I had never gone to doctors. I didn't have any friends or family. So when the time came to go to the emergency room, because that was an emergency situation, I didn't have anyone to call except the ambulance. And I remember calling the ambulance, and when I put down the phone, I remember thinking, this is the end of my life as I know it, meaning I am no longer going to be self-sufficient. The ambulance came, took me to the emergency room, and at the emergency room, they diagnosed the BPH, and they put what's called a Foley catheter on me, which is a catheter that goes from your penis to a bag strapped to your leg, and that is the way that the urine drains. And by the way, they had to, before they put the bag on, they had to let all the urine that was already in my body drain out, and it took, I'd say, I don't know, it felt like an hour, but at least 45 minutes. When it finally drained out and they gave me the Foley catheter and they discharged me, they prescribed some medication, and they told me to get in touch with a urologist. They gave me a couple of names. And I went to the urologist. The urologist said, you have to you have to continue taking this medication. We're going to take the Foley out of you, but now you're going to have to learn to catheterize. That's called straight catheterization, I guess. And I did it myself periodically for a while. But the urologist also said, since you've never gone to doctors, you probably haven't had a PSA test done. PSA, which stands for prostate specific antigen, is something that shows you how much, if you have cancer, if a man has prostate cancer specifically in his body. I don't know exactly how that works, but I do know that what he told me was the normal value for a man your age, which was about 60 years old at the time, is 4 nanograms per milliliter, and above that is abnormal, below that is normal. So I had a blood test done, and the results came at, I think, 125 or 126, something like that. And I remember looking at that because I was able to get my results on the hospital website, and I remember looking at the results and thinking, I am a dead man. So I just waited for the urologist's call telling me to come in and have more extensive tests. And while I waited, I decided I was going to live it up a little bit because I figured that this was going to be like kind of the end of my life. So I decided I'm going to go to uh, McDonald's and have myself a Big Mac, large fries, and a strawberry shake. Eventually, the urologist called. I remember whoever called me, a nurse or medical assistant from the urologist's office, called and said, the doctor wants to see you because your PSA results came back and they're extremely high. I remember her words, extremely high. So that's the way this started. My diagnosis required biopsy of my prostate, which was something that was extremely painful, and we can go into that in the next video. Thanks for being with me. I'll see you next time.